and welcome to day 5 of 12 days of coasters. It wouldn't be a Christmas vlogmas without a star coaster, and today we're going to make this in, you've guessed it, Scheepjes SoftFun, but I'm actually going to make it in this gorgeous sort of raspberry pink. I'm not sure if the camera does the colour justice, because one, I think it's just such a beautiful colour, and it's going to look obviously lovely on the thumbnail for the video. So if you've never used this, look at this, easy start. Wow. And I'm going to pair this with a 4.5 hook. Now this is a DK weight, but I do prefer a 4.5 with this. It's also a cotton acrylic mix, which gives it a little bit of that premium cotton feel, but without splitting the way cotton often can, and also a little bit of stretch. However, any DK, I mean any hook size combo you'd like. However, if you do size up your yarn and your hook, you are going to get a bigger star than this. So we're going to create, we're not going to create a magic circle. If you're just about had enough of magic circles, no, you're going to be creating a slip knot in whichever way you like, and then you're going to be chaining 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we're going to be slip stitching into that first chain to create a ring, which looks like a little bit of a hot mess, but if you are careful you will be able to locate the center of that. If you find 4 challenging to create a ring, don't worry. 2, just make 5. Sometimes people find that 5 works better, certainly with a thinner hook and yarn. So 3, 4, 5. Let's go into the centre. There we go. It's a little bit easier now that we can see that. So that's absolutely not an issue at all. So how this is going to work is we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to place another 2 chains, because this chain 3 is going to mimic a double crochet. And then we're going to place 2 more chains. Then we're going to place a double crochet into the centre of this ring. So to double crochet, we yarn over, we place our hook in, and we yarn over and pull back through. Then when we have 3 loops on a hook, we yarn over and pull through 2. And then we yarn over and pull through 2, and you should have something like this. You've got your centre ring, and you've essentially got a stitch here, and a group of 2 chains here, albeit this stitch here is a chain of 3. So then you're going to chain 2, and then you're going to place another double crochet into the centre. And you're going to chain 2, and you guessed it, potentially, you're going to put another double crochet into the centre. And you're going to chain another 2, and you're going to put another double crochet into the centre. And what you're looking to create is almost, imagine a wheel, a little wheel, a pretzel. You've got this centre ring, and you've got these little sections here created of stitches, double crochets, with the chain of 2 in between, and you're going to want 5 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is our 5th space. So we chain 2, and then we join here. Now we want to make sure we're joining at the right place. So what I would do is I would look at our double crochet here, and we can see this is the top of our double crochet. We're going to count 2 chains along, meaning that this one here, I know this one here is the 3rd chain when I originally did my chain. So I need to make sure that I am slip stitching into there, into my 3rd chain. And then you can see I've got, let's move that tail out of the way because that's a little bit confusing. I'll pop it on the table there. We've got our wheel, our pretzel, our circle with our 5 sections, and this is essentially this part that we've created. And we're now going to be placing stitches into those 5 sections. So the first thing we need to do is we need to, on round 2 rather, is we need to slip stitch into the next section along. So simply place your hook in, pull it through, pull it under like that, and you slip stitched into that section. So in this section we're going to chain 3, and a chain of 3 will always happen at the beginning of a round. It's essentially just mimicking a double crochet to get you started. We're then going to place 2 more double crochets straight next to that. So we're yarning over or inserting, we're yarning over, pulling back through, yarning over through 2, yarning over through 2. If you're a beginner, I would recommend getting familiar with the double crochet before you carry on, in case you're finding it hard to keep up. We're then going to chain 2. We're then going to place another 3 double crochets into the exact same space. Okay, so all into one space. So there you go, in one space we place 3 double crochets, a chain of 2 and 3 double crochets. You're going to do exactly the same for all 5 sections. You're going to place 3 double crochets into the next section, a chain of 2, scoop them along because they will fill that section up. I tend to grab hold of this and, can you see, just pull them along, scoop them along, really squish them up so I can get another 3 double crochets into that section. And they will all fit. Oh, the colour of this yarn is wonderful. So we're hopping over to the next part and we're placing 3 double crochets into that section, a chain of 2, pushing those stitches along just to help us out, and placing another 3 double crochets, a little bit more yarn, 1 more into there, okay, 2 more sections to go, 3 double crochets, chain of 2 and 3 double crochets. One more. Because you're doing such a repetitive thing as well, I always like to pause and just check before I get too far. Okay, yeah, I've got 3, 3, 3, 3, because there's nothing worse than getting around to here and realising you've only put 2 in a section. And then debating, do I pull it down or do I just kind of fake it and put 2 stitches in 1 stitch on the next round? Because, you know, you can do that. There is no rules in crochet. Sometimes I think if you have to, just kind of, you know, just wheedle a little extra one in. So I'm on to the final 3 double crochets in the final section. One more to go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slip stitch to join, making sure I slip stitch in that top one there of that 3rd chain. And if I pop that down, you can see it doesn't look much like a star at the minute. It just looks like a pentagon. 5 sides, yes, pentagon. Sometimes I have to double check I've got that right. However, it will start to form the star because of the way that we're going to be missing some of the stitches out on these flat sides to help bring in the sides and accentuate the points. So what we need to do now is we need to slip stitch into the next stitch. and then we're going to chain 3. So we've only actually got 1 double crochet left to go before we get to the corner, because we've missed the first one because we slip stitched into the second one. We've created a chain of 3 out of the second one, which mimics our double crochet, and then we're going to place a double crochet into that third one, and then we're actually at a corner, if you like, or a point. Now the way the pattern works is you can tell it's going to be very repetitive, and we're always going to be placing the same amount of stitches every time we have a point, regardless of which round we're on. So whether we're on round 2, 3, 4, your point is always going to follow this pattern. And you've already done it. 3 double crochets into the point. Yep. A chain of 2. 3 double crochets into the point. And there you have your point. Your point's always going to look like that. Your sides are going to have a similar setup, and once you've kind of got yourself familiar with the pattern, you'll soon work it out. So in this one, we had 3 in our sections below, if you like. If you think about each side of the bar as a section. So we've got 3 here, and then we've got 3 here. The way it's going to work is you're always going to place a double crochet, and make sure we're actually getting the right double crochet. Can you remember what I said about you know, making sure that you scooch these along, because you want to be looking for that all important next stitch. You're always going to double crochet in every one of the double crochets below, bar the one either side of this bar. Okay, so the 2 in the middle that form either side of the bar, we skip. So in this case, we've only actually got 2 double crochets, and then we skip these central 2 and we hop over to the other side, where we're going to place a double crochet in each of those 2 double crochets below. And can you see what that's done? Is that's by skipping those 2 center ones, we're pulling it in together like that. Do you see how that works? And now we're onto a corner. So this is a nice easy one. How does the corner go? 3 double crochets, a chain of 2, and 3 double crochets. I've got 1 more to go. Make sure we're pulling our double crochets across so we can see here our next true stitch. I place a double crochet in that one, a double crochet in the next one. We're going to be skipping these 2 here, these 2 center ones, and on this round we know where they are because of this this bar here. We're going to be jumping over. Oh, I can't pick my yarn up very well then. Jumping over to place a double crochet in the remaining 2 of that round before we get to our corner here. And in our corner we place our 3. 1, 2, 3. And we chain 2. And then we place another 3. Okay, pull that to the side, 2 double crochets along the side, skipping the center 2 here, jumping over here to place a double crochet here and a double crochet here, ready for another corner of a 3. Oh, my yarn just went around my Christmas tree then. So 3 doubles, a chain of 2 and another 3 doubles. Pulling that across, there's our stitch, double crochet, double crochet, put more yarn, skip, skip, double crochet, double crochet, point. Awesome. And this is the last point by the looks of things. Wonderful. So 3 double crochets, chain of 2, 3 double crochets, okay, double crochet, double crochet. Now we've already skipped these 2, can you see? Because, well, we haven't already skipped these 2, we've already done the 2 the other side of these, because we had our chain of 3 and we had our single or lone double crochet. So all we need to do is hop over, locate that 3rd chain in that chain of 3 and place a slip stitch into that stitch, and it will look like this. It might look like a little starfish sea urchin, a little piece of kelp all squished up. However, if we nicely start to see, let's give it a squash. Hang on, this tail's getting in the way. I'm going to just pop it like that. So there we go. You see how that's starting to come together. It's still not fully into a star because we need to make another row to really start to accentuate those points and those corners. And the beauty of the star coaster that I have created is we only actually have 1 more row to go. So these build up so quickly, so quickly. So we need to slip stitch into the next stitch because we don't want to have a stitch coming out of this one because we will be skipping that. So if we hop over into the next stitch and slip stitch from there, placing our initial chain of 3 like so, and then we are going to crochet into the next 3 double crochets. We're going to place double crochets into the next 3 double crochets to take us to the point. Now on this round, the amount of double crochets before the point will be 4, whereas on the previous round it was 2, and it's always going to increase by 2 each round. So we were placing 2 before the corner last time, so it's going to be 4 before the corner last time, and the corner is going to be the same. Corner's never going to change. The corner's always going to be that group of 3 and that chain of 2 and that group of 3. So I mean, what's more satisfying in a pattern when, you know, by the 2nd row you definitely know a section off by heart. You're always going to make sure you're going into the 1st stitch by pulling that to the side. So 4, so we do 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, because we haven't got a post to tell us where we are, but we have got a large gap. So we're going to be skipping the stitches either side of the large gap because we want to be drawing together that star. I said store. So we're going to be skipping and jumping over to where we can see this nice 1, 2, 3, 4, because that's what we want to be placing our next stitch is into. So skipping straight over into this one and placing our crochets, our double crochets into the 4, the other side, up to the corner. And can you see the way that that's really now pulled that in, and we're starting to get that point. So another corner, I don't know why I call them corners because they're points, aren't they? So this is awesome when you know a pattern. 3 doubles, 2 chains, 3 doubles, and you're ready for a side. You don't really have sides of stars, do you? Not sure on the terminology. So 1, 2, don't forget we're only going to be doing 4, 3, 4, and you'll know that you've done the right 4 because you will have 1 stitch left before the gap. If you've stitched into that on your 4th, you know that you didn't hit the first one here and you need to pull those stitches to the side and you've gone too far. Equally, if you've got more than one left here, you probably need to have a track back and double check that you haven't missed a stitch in this group. So we're going to jump over the next 2, jump over the 2 either side of the gap into the next one with a double crochet, placing a double crochet in the next 3 as well, all the way up to the point of the star. So like I said, it's 4 either side and a corner. Why do I keep saying? Let's just acknowledge or accept that I'm going to call these corners of stars even though they're points of stars. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, we must celebrate the fact that the cat hasn't come into the picture. We can hear her chirping on the stairs, but I've probably jinxed it now and she's going to run straight under the camera. I can hear her running now. 2, 3. Okay, make sure I'm going into the right one, which has gotten obscured. 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip, straight over into the other 4, the other side. So 2, 3, 4. Point. Yes, a point. I'm so excited. 1, 2, 3, and a chain of 2. Chain of 2. Place another 3. You could pull them to one side at this point. That probably would have been a better idea from the beginning. Yeah, the cats are tearing up the stairs. 2, 3. Okay. 4 down into the, it could be the valley of the star. It's kind of like a valley, peaks and valleys. 3, 4. Skipping the central 2, jumping over to crochet 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're on your last point, which is fantastic. So you're going to place 3 double crochets into the point. You're going to place a then chain of 2 and then 3 double crochets into the point. Okay, the last 4 down the side, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then, oh, how satisfying does that look? Locate that third one along in that chain of 3, slip stitch, and there we have our star shaped. And once it's blocked, I think you'll find that it definitely holds its shape more, but the star, the feeling of the star comes out certainly a lot more in the coaster. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you did find it a little bit speedy, like I said, this isn't probably a beginner. This is definitely one for somebody that's very comfortable with crocheting the double crochet and being able to count stitches. But by all means, I have popped some chaptered sections in, so you can go back and just look at, you know, round 2, round 1, the different sections, what a corner looks like, etc. You could potentially go bigger if you wanted to. All you're going to be doing is making sure that you're still skipping these sections either side. So in this case, all the way up to the end, skipping, you know, you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like I said, it's always going to go up in 2s. So you're going to have a 6 and then a corner, a 6, a jump, a 6, a corner. If you wanted to go bigger, I mean, how lovely would these look as placemats for Christmas? If you did sort of like big stars with then little stars for drinks, that would look really, really nice. Certainly in some lovely Christmassy colours. So thank you ever so much for joining me for 12 days of coasters. I'd love to know in the comments below how you're finding the series, and again, is there anything you'd like me to include? I mean, I still have a few coaster patterns left to make, so certainly there's room to squeeze some extra ideas in, or just anything in Christmas in general, if there's anything you'd like me to add. I do love Christmas crochet. I have, I'll pop at the end the link to my really easy crochet Christmas tree, which is definitely, you know, a lovely festive pattern to sit back, relax, nice glass of something spicy and warm for Christmas, and just make some lovely handmade or homemade Christmas decorations. So once again, happy hooking, and I'll see you soon. Bye.